How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another Godot video. Today we're going to be adding the health system and the damage system. So with that said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Now first up, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and create a brand new scene for the thing that's actually going to damage us. We're not going to create a full-on enemy in this tutorial, but we are going to create something that, well, if we touch it, it damages us. Now here's a warning, it's a very simple health system, so it will be meant for beginners only, and I'm sure you can make something better than this if you know more about Godot. Anyways, let's go ahead and create a brand new scene right here. We can go ahead and create a brand new node 2D. We can go ahead and rename this to spikes, for example, since we're not going to be creating any enemy, and we're going to be changing this type to an area 2D. Now, what's an area 2D? Well, an area 2D is basically something that allows you to collide with it. It detects collisions, but it doesn't like physically collide with it. We can go ahead and save the scene right here in the scenes folder like so. And let's go ahead and create the required child for the spikes area 2D here, which are going to be a collision shape 2D. But before that, we're also going to create a sprite 2D. Now, if you have an animated thing, of course, you're going to go ahead and create the animated sprite 2D. You can go ahead and put the texture over here. It's just a simple, wooden spike texture I found somewhere. Not the best, but it will have to do for now. Go ahead and put it in the center over here so we don't confuse ourselves. And we can go ahead and choose the collision shape right here. It's going to be a rectangle, and it's going to be right down here. We're going to go ahead and put it around the collision thing here. Or basically just going to scale it. All right, and there we go. So now we can go ahead and save that. And now we can go ahead and actually create a script for the area 2D right here. We're going to call it spikes right here. Now I kind of changed the folder structure a little bit here. And we basically want all of this removed right here because we don't need it. And we're going to be talking a little bit about signals right here. But first, let's actually go into the player.gd and add the health variable. So let's go ahead and do var health. We don't need to export that because we're not going to be modifying it anytime soon. Equal to 5. Now, each time the player touches the spike, he goes ahead and takes 1 health point away. So that said, let's go into the spikes right here. We can go to node right here, the node tab. Make sure you select this. Now, what is a signal? Now, a signal is basically something that allows you to relate a node to another node and basically allows you to, well, detect collisions and detect anything like this. So if you're dealing with a button, for example, signals in this case will detect if you press that button or if you hovered over that button. Basically, just some things that detect the state of the node. So with that said, we want if the body, of course, entered the spike. So we're going to be using the body entered here, and we're going to be basically putting it in this code here because that's basically how I found it to work. Now, if you want to, of course, link it to another piece of code, you can go ahead and click here. But of course, they're going to have to be in the same scene right here. So if we go into the world scene, we need to go ahead and put the spike scene over here and place it over here, and we should be good to go. And now we can go ahead and go back into the script here. We can go body right over here. We can do body entered. And basically, okay, from the world here, we're going to do body entered. As you can see, now we can connect for the player script, for the spikes script, whatever we want. But we're going to be doing it inside of this script right here. Now we're going to be talking about signals in another episode, but all you have to know now is that they basically manage the simple collision stuff and everything like that. Right, and so with that said, as you can see, the body entered function here takes one parameter, which is the body here. And the body is basically the thing that collides with the actual object. So we're going to execute whatever is inside here if anybody, including the level, collides with the object. We don't want that, right? So we want to take the player's health away only if we have our, well, our body be the player. So basically, there's this thing called groups right here. If we go into the player scene over here, as you can see, we can go into new node groups, and we can go ahead and add a group here. We're going to call it player. We're going to click add. Now, these groups, basically, you can add multiple nodes into them, and we can go ahead and, for example, let's say add multiple enemies into a group, and then we can manage all of the enemies at once instead of having to detect for every single enemy. And so we can go ahead and do if the body dot is in group, right, like so, and we're going to do the player group over here. Make sure it's exactly the same name as here. You can go ahead and even copy it right here to make sure that it is the exact same name. And now we're going to do whatever we want in here, like so. So we can go ahead and go into our world scene here. We can go ahead and put the player here, dot health, and we're going to be basically equal to the, or we could just easily do minus equals 1. And so there we go. We have our basically thing right here. And what we want to do in the player right here, just to make sure that we're actually getting the results we needed, is we can go ahead and print the player's health right here. And now we can go ahead and actually run the game again. And as you can see, the player's health is 5 right now. If I go ahead and touch this, it's now 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then it's just 0 and -1. There's of course no limit, so it just goes ahead and keeps going each time we touch it. And so with that said, let's go ahead and actually add a proper system for the player health. First up, let's add the health bar. So with that said, in the player scene, we're going to add a brand new node here. It's going to be called the progress bar. Of course, if you want a textured one, you can just use the texture progress bar, but we want the actual progress bar right here. And then what we can do right here is go into the progress bar right here. We can go into the inspector, and there are a couple things that you can go ahead and change. First of all, in the layout section here, we have the transform, of course, or we can go into the 2D scene right here. And as always, in the top left-hand corner here, we have our progress bar. Now, of course, it's absolutely ginormous, so we can go ahead and actually go into the transform here and get the scale down to like 0.1 or something. There we go. This right here is a pretty good scale right here. You can go ahead and position it on top of the player, maybe slightly increase the size of it a little bit, and then we can go ahead and go to the top values here. We can go ahead and say remove show percentages, because we want it to be a health bar, not a health percentage. So yeah, with that said, you can go ahead and go into the visibility right here, and then we can go into the modulate right here, go into basically whatever color you want, which is basically going to be the fill color for a health bar. And of course, the ideal color right here is going to be a red, so let's try and get a bit of a healthy red like this, like so, and we can go ahead and put it right here on top of the player, make it a little bigger. There we go. You can go ahead and just move it a little up, like so. Now, of course, it won't look red right now, but it will in just a second. Now, something else we want to change here is in the value right here, in the maximum value, we want to set it to the player's health, basically, so 5. And what we want to do right here is we want to head down over here, and we're going to do a brand new variable right here called the health underscore bar. And I guess we could just do it up there, so no worries at all, right here, like so. And we can go ahead and set it equal to the progress bar node right here, or you could go ahead and rename it, for example, health bar, like so. You can go ahead and basically drag and drop it right here. Oh, and by the way, for this to actually work, we're gonna have to actually put it inside of the physics process here, or you can go ahead and put it in the underscore ready function if you have one, but of course we don't have one here, so it will be completely fine. Now we can go ahead and do health bar, or we can just go ahead and get the node itself if you, I don't know, want to just do it directly or something. And then we're going to do dot value right here, and then we're going to set the value to be our player's health. There we go. And that basically means it's going to take this value and apply it to the health bar. So if the health is 5, it's going to basically set the value of the health bar to be 5, which is basically our maximum in here. So let's go ahead and test if it works. So as you can see, we have our health bar on top here. If our health is 4, as you can see, the health bar goes down, 3, 2, 1, and it's all the way down right here. And then it just stops going down because, of course, we are done. So basically, let's add a simple check right here. We're going to do if our health is less than 0, we're going to bring it back to 0. So health equal to 0, like so. So basically, this should prevent the glitch here. And if we have full health, we probably shouldn't really see the actual, you know, the health bar. We're going to do if the health is greater or not greater. If the health is equal to 5, then we're going to set the health bar dot visible is equal to true right here. So basically, oh sorry, false, not true. So basically, if the health is full, basically going to hide it. Then we're going to just have a simple else statement here. We're going to have the exact same thing right here, but this time we're going to be setting it to true. So this should go ahead and fix the, not really the bug right here, but as you can see, the health bar is hidden unless we take damage, and it goes ahead and, well, shows up. Until, of course, we're dead. And as you can see, it just flashed a -1 for a second here, and then comes back to 0. Now, of course, if you want to go ahead and play the animation right here, wherever you take the damage basically, so you can go ahead and create a variable right here. So we're going to do bar hit, or basically damaged. We're going to set it to false for the time being, and wherever it says the play animation stuff here, basically, we're basically going to do if the, right down here, so basically if our hit is equal to true, then we're going to play the basically hit animation wherever in the animator sprite 2D we have it. So we're basically going to go into our player right here, into our hit, and we're going to go ahead and create a brand new animation right here. We're going to call it hit, and then we're going to take all of our basically things here, and we're going to put it in the hit like so. And basically, if we go here, as you can see, this is how it looks like. We can go ahead and delete that final part right there, and we can go ahead and unloop that and actually make this, you know what, 5 frames is good, I think. 5, let me see. Yeah, 5 frames is good. Okay, let's go back into the script right here, and okay, right here, if hit is equal to, we're gonna play the animation right here of us getting hit, right, like so. So let's go ahead and see if it works. Not by running this scene, but we're running the whole game. Okay, it doesn't seem to work right here. And that's of course because we haven't actually gone ahead and put the hit value here to true. So if we go ahead and not hide the hit, we're gonna set it to true basically, so that in the basically enemy script here, so that in this script, we can actually go ahead and play the animation right here. So let's try it again. As you can see, it plays the animation, but then it doesn't go back to the idle. So we need to go ahead and set the hit to false again. And now if we go ahead and play the script again, as you can see, we go ahead and take damage. It flashes white for a second, and then we are good to go. Now, of course, we can go ahead and make it so that if the health is less than 0, or if the health is equal to 0, then we just go ahead and basically either make it die or quit the program or whatever. So let's go ahead and basically give an example here. So basically what I did here is I created a brand new death animation here, of course, like so. And basically we're going to take all of the, you know, direction stuff and animation stuff. We're actually going to go ahead and indent it a little bit here. And then down here, we're going to create a brand new if statement, basically under the print health here. We're going to create if the health is greater than 0, then we're going to do all of the following. Because if the health is not greater than 0, then we actually want to basically cut off the input for the character. So we're going to do else, and then we're going to play our death animation here. This is basically the simplest it can get. Of course, I'm not making any death screen here or anything like that. This is as simple as it can get. So if I go ahead and take damage multiple times, as you can see, I go ahead and, you know, just launch into the oblivion here. But yeah, I can't control the character anymore because, of course, I need to do the velocity equal to 0, like so. Go ahead and, okay, this doesn't work because we need a vector 2. So let's go ahead and do a vector 2, 0, and 0. Right, like so. Let's go ahead and try this again. As you can see, if I go ahead and take damage, I just, you know, I fall to the ground and play the death animation, which is kind of quirky right now. Let's go ahead and kind of modify the FPS here. Kind of weird. Yeah, but as you can see, it's basically as simple as that. You can tinker around, you can play a little bit with it. As you can see, we have our simple health bar working. We have our animation right here done. So that said, this right here is how you add the very, very basic health system. This is, again, the most basic you can get. So if you want, like, if you expected anything too, like, you know, complicated or anything like that, this is going to be for a next tutorial probably. But for now, this is basically as simple as you can get. If you're a beginner, you can go ahead and build off of this. This is a pretty, basically the stems of the, or the roots of the health system. You can just go ahead and build on that. It's pretty simple from now and then. So that's it. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe and wait for the next one. And also comment down below any suggestions you have for beginners and any tips you have, because you might be helping out other people. And also make sure to go ahead and leave any suggestions in the comments down below. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video.